Yeah. Hey, oh, yeah. Hey guys, I'm Theo Johnson. Yeah, I'm a lead UX researcher at Sony Music Entertainment. I'm in the United States as well, and today we're going to talk about design thinking workshops, right? So I thought I'd do a pretty cool chapter on just a simple guide to running design thinking workshops and just a little bit why they're important, right? Why to kind of work with all the different members of the team, get people involved, right? That way everybody understands what's going on within the user-centered design process, and that research and design falls clean. Oh, there we go. All right. Who doesn't love a good brain exercise, right? So I love design thinking workshops. I love working with different teams. The great thing about doing any sort of UX workshop, right? A lot of the data comes from the qualitative data, right? So if you're doing any sort of user research, like user interviews, moderated usability sessions, right? Using Miro, you can, gather that data, put the data in the sticky notes, right? And then formulate themes and use cases, right, based on your data. Super important. Again, I'm going to go into kind of the timeline and how these workshops kind of I think have been effective in my past roles and currently at Sony. So looking at design thinking workshops, right, and the timelines. We start with user research, right? Really executing your qualitative research study. So I'm just going to focus right now on like the qualitative research, right? So this is just an example. Let's say you're doing some user interviews, right? And you're really in that discovery phase, right? And then after that, you kind of plan ahead, right? You get some of that data, make sure you get the invites out 2 to 3 weeks in advance for the teams, right? When you do any sort of workshops, right, you want to have that data readily available for your team and make sure they understand, what tools are you using for the workshop, right? Where are we going to meet? Who's going to be involved, right? Are we going to have designers, researchers, data scientists, engineers, and so forth? And then obviously executing the design workshop. From there, you can use your favorite whiteboarding tools. I like to use Miro. Miro is awesome. I'm sure you guys have used Miro. And then obviously strategizing, right? Utilize the insights from the design workshop to enhance current or future design direction with your design and development teams. So I think, doing these workshops are really valuable, and pretty much gathering data, right, and then formalizing better design decisions because everybody's kind of involved. Everybody knows what's happening with these designs and the product itself. And then, right, test those designs, right? Come up with some ideas, right? And then from there, move forward. All right. So, and then I have a little thing here. I mean, this is how it's laid out in the chapter, right? I've done these workshops a couple times and they're pretty effective. So it's a 90-minute design thinking workshop steps. So step one, you get together, user needs, likes, dislikes, and challenges, which is 30 minutes, right? So for this part, right, you get the team together, right, using your favorite workshopping tool. Take a look at data, find, whatever you're working on, right? Let's say you're working on like a check-in process or a sign-in process for a product, right? You want to figure out, okay, what are those barriers, right? Or what's working, what's not working, right? That way you have powerful themes you can use moving forward. Like I said, it really depends on the like 30 minutes, right? But I mean, this really depends on like how many people are there, right? How you're doing it, so this is just a bare structure. So don't think has to be 90 minutes, right? It could be a little bit longer, a little bit shorter. Step two is, this all goes in sequential order, right? So within the workshop, you start with that, and then you go to step two. It's just create themes and use cases for the user flow, right? So, you guys all know customer journey maps, right? Or pretty much how a user goes through a process. Again, like we're talking about the checkout process, right? So, maybe find the pain points within that process, which is super important. Uh, looking at the holistic journey of a user is also very important, right? So we as designers or researchers, right, we only know so much. We got to figure out what does the user like, right, and how can we make that experience better. This is a really, really good exercise for doing that. And then obviously step three, right, so after you finalize that data in the workshop, look at how might we statements, one of my favorites. So how might we fix this issue? How might we clean up the sign-in process? How might we change the color coding, right? Something like that. So this is super awesome. Usually with these, I get carried away in the how might we statements, right? Because you're just like, man, we got all these ideas, right? And then you can kind of prioritize those ideas, and make some tickets, right? I mean, it depends if you're working in Jira and all that too, but really, really finalizing, right? So how can we fix these issues we have, or that moving forward? And then at the end, right, reconvene and share thoughts. So I always try to leave space at the end and time at the end of the workshop to share thoughts and feelings about how did the workshop go, and then obviously like what are our next steps, right? And I realize like what I have here, it's like really quick, right? But like it's a lot of stuff to kind of talk about in 5 minutes. And I was going to share like examples of the workshop and everything, but if you want to know more, you can read the book, the chapter. So obviously, right, so benefits of the design thinking workshops, right? So they can help your team understand how and why users may be having difficulties with your products, right? So you can see stuff from more of a really granular perspective and a holistic perspective as well. You can really dive into specific product things within doing your research, or you can see things from a different perspective. And then also bringing stakeholders to a common understanding and align teams on a user-focused vision, right? So we want to build products for our users, not for ourselves, right? So we want to make sure this product is the best it could possibly be. So like I said, I find design thinking workshops to be a lot of fun. Make sure you get all your team members involved, and it's a great experience. And yeah, so that's all I have. So thanks.
Cool. Thanks, Theo. So we've rounded this one up, I think, exactly. Yeah, if you can follow me, are you following me? Yes, I can say thank you. Thank you, of course, to the organizers and our hosts, basically, of UX Camp Europe. If, again, you're not coming from UX Camp Europe directly, please join the UX Camp at uxcampeurope.org. Also, a thank you to O'Reilly for putting out all of our answers to that question, like what you should know, giving us that opportunity. Thanks to Iconstorm, which are the people I work with, who have sponsored the Figma and the Zoom space today. Thanks to our editor, Dan Berlin, who made this whole book possible. Thanks to you guys, Becca, Georgi, Christian, Christy, and Theo for bringing in, and thanks to you in the audience for being here. Super cool. I hope you are as inspired as I am. And if you want to go to win one of those books, because as I said, there is a certain thing, you can also go to this bit.ly address. I just posted it in the chat, or you can just type it. So you can enter the book raffle and hopefully get a book. It's not about like data mining or anything. We just have the opportunity. So don't be too shy. We're not selling anything. And yeah, I would say, wow, cool. Are there questions to our speakers today, or maybe about the book or about the format? We still have a couple of minutes left.